Morning, everybody. It's Dr. Kenton Wakes Up. I'm Dr. Kenton. In the mug today is Cameron's Coffee Roasting Company Breakfast Blend. It's very tasty. Today's Saturday, October 4th, 2025. It's so later than normal. It's after 9 when I'm recording this. I had a decent walk with the dogs this morning. Had me recognizing, perhaps with the help of John Roderick's Dear John letters, helped me to recognize that the things that people use to decide whether you are educated or not really are only a betrayal of the things that they think about themselves, the things that they decided were important for them that they think should be important for you. And that won't always be the case. Uh, Society only survives because there's a variety of things going on all the time. Can't have everybody be an engineer. Can't have everybody be a custodian, or caretaker, or baker, or cook. Now it's fine, probably a good idea for you to have more than one thing that you really like to do for the purposes of overcoming hardships later. For example, if your cook decides to shuffle off to Buffalo or whatever, if you can't cook, then you're stuck. So it's okay to have more than one interest. But it's not also not necessary for you to have every interest or to share every interest that everybody else around you thinks that you should have. Can't be possible. So pursue the thing that you really like to do. You can't. It's not practical to turn your back on things that you're responsible for just because you don't like doing them. But likewise, you shouldn't feel like you have to take on every interest that somebody else around you thinks that you should have. Also, not possible. So, there might be people around you who feel like or believe that reading all the great books is the secret to, intelligence and success. But at the same time, what do the great books prepare you for? And do you need a Sherpa to remind you along the way of what those things are supposed to be doing for you so that you don't lose sight of it and just become somebody who memorizes information with the intention of just spitting it back at random, some later date? There's no point to that kind of knowledge. If, in fact, the Great Books curriculum is intended to, give you the power to pull out important information from high noise environments, okay, that's fine. But the person who's leading you through that needs to be very specific about bringing that to your attention as often as possible so that you know what it is that it's doing for you. Reading Moby Dick just for the sake of reading Moby Dick is fine. But expecting that everybody else around you reads Moby Dick just because you think it's the best thing they've ever written, it's kind of silly. If instead you have this idea that Moby Dick teaches people about how to get along with others or how to recognize somebody who's gone around the bend or how to, you know, pursue, kill, and process a gigantic sea mammal, whatever the reason is you're reading it, just doesn't seem as reasonable to expect that somebody would read something just for the sake of having read it. That might be fine for some things. But in my case, I never really grabbed on to what the, let's say, one of the assignments would be to read The Republic from Plato. That's fine. It's a fine book. But what does it do for me? Not much. I gotta get something up here. Reading the Republic is fine. Making sense of all the words that are used. Being able to say that you understood everything that was being said is one level of achievement. But knowing why Plato wrote the book, what he was intending for people to get out of it, that's another layer. And that's something that your Sherpa might need to tell you, might need to help you recognize so that you can pay the proper amount of attention to understanding what it is that's being said. Not just the words that are being used, but the message that's being conveyed. That's why, in my belief system, everybody needs a Sherpa. You know, I was I learned how to read when I was a young kid, and I, over time, have accumulated the skills necessary to read and understand complicated works. But being able to read and understand those complicated works is made much more meaningful when there's a reason why. It's hard to solve a problem that's not truly yours. Once you have a problem, a challenge that you can sink your teeth into and you have an interest in figuring it out, that internal motivation can push you pretty far. So those were all things that I recognized today, that living your life according to somebody else's expectations is a, a game. It's not fulfilling. And, you know, having knowledge that doesn't serve you is like a parlor trick. There's no point. I mean, sure, it dazzles people, but there's no meaningfulness to it. There's no there's no point to it. So hmm, I don't know why I'm having such a problem with this. At the beginning, all you can do is guess. No, no. This doesn't use people's last names as words. Or there's a good one that I would have wanted to use. Okay. Hmm. How about that? Narrowing it down. Oh, we got it all the way. A four, which is not bad. It's typical. I mean, that's where the highest peak of my curve is. Um, so yeah, Saturday's ordinarily a day for admin, which means going to the grocery store and so forth. That will happen, but later. Um, got a fair amount of home projects to take care of, or at least start working on today. Got the laundry going. Got yeah, I'm gonna have to. Anyway, I got a list of things that I'm working on. Taking a trip on starting on Tuesday evening. So just writing my list of packing. Um, I don't really need to bring a whole lot with me. It's the nature of this trip is about learning and commiseration, not about accomplishing any particular Yep. So I mean that might be the rudiments. Might have just whipped that out. All right. Um, just trying to keep moving forward. Got some projects to work on this morning. Got laundry underway. Some amount of this is interstitials, finding ways to do stuff while other things are in process. And one of the things that I'm trying to do is find electronic copies of books that I own so that I can get rid of the physical books, taking up space otherwise. So let me see if I can't start that down the pathway here. It's perverse how easy it is to find stuff these days. So, anyway, I'm on my way. I hope you have a great day. Love you. Bye.